This rare V8 economy car destroyed everyone, the Motion Vega. Back in the early 1970s, when speed was king on the streets, the Baldwin Motion Super Vega, which cost merely $4,000 hit the roads. With a jaw-dropping 454 horsepower engine straight from Baldwin Motion, this wasn't just another fast car. It was a legend in the making. Capable of blazing through a quarter mile in under 9 seconds, it turned heads and ignited passions among car enthusiasts nationwide. There's a lot to know about this beast that we're going to talk about in today's video, so stay with us till the end to find it all out. And here we begin. If you ask about the fastest car on the road in the early 1970s, well, you'd get a range of responses. Someone in New England might talk about a legendary Corvette with an incredible engine. Someone else in Santa Monica might brag about a Boss 429 that destroyed the opposition. There were fast automobiles around. One automobile, however, jumped out as you could purchase it right out of a dealership and start racing on the street right away. People were talking about how fast it was, saying it could complete a quarter mile in 9 seconds or less. This vehicle did not depend on a standard large engine. Rather, it featured something far more outrageous. A Baldwin Motion built Super Vega with a whopping 454 horsepower. This beauty is a dream for many car lovers. High performance has always been associated with Baldwin Motion. They were experts at building some of the most remarkable dealer-built bikes ever produced at the time. Baldwin Motion had already refined these vehicles, so you didn't need to make any adjustments yourself. One notable example of converting a regular car into a street beast was the Super Vega. Baldwin Motion was an alliance between Motion Performance, a performance shop in Baldwin, New York, and Baldwin Chevrolet, a vehicle dealership. Motion Performance received brand new Chevrolet vehicles from Baldwin Chevrolet and upgraded them to be faster and more stylish. With the assistance of Baldwin Chevrolet, they were able to perform full engine swaps and more, reaching a larger and wealthier audience. They occasionally even assisted clients in obtaining financing for their new automobiles. In the 1970s, Motion Performance produced a ton of amazing custom cars, including Camaros, Chevelles, and Corvettes. Although these vehicles were successful, our attention is now on Motion's flagship Black Vega, their main project. This was their final major endeavor. Chevrolet produced the first Generation 3 Vega between 1970 and 73, and it wasn't too wretched looking. It was a little bit more mundane, but it looked like a tiny 1970 Camaro. Motion Performance transformed this vehicle into something exceptional. The Black Vega was a unique vehicle that demonstrated Motion Performance's ingenuity and expertise. Combining the finest performance and style Baldwin Motion had to offer, it was a fitting last project. The Vega was an affordable car that a lot of people could buy. It came with a variety of 4-cylinder engine options, although none of them were very quick. The Vega has some amazing features though. With the engine located at the front, the rear-wheel drive vehicle was relatively light, weighing just 2,200 pounds. Because of this, it was a great vehicle for people looking to increase its performance. The Vega caught the attention of drag racers. They understood they could remove the original engine and install a more potent V8 engine in its stead. With this easy modification, the Vega became an actual speed demon. The best thing was that the insurance prices for these cars remained very low, significantly lower than for other muscle cars of the era because they continue to look like tiny, low-cost automobiles that they had originally been. V8 conversion kits were first offered by various firms as the demand for upgrading Vegas increased. Owners of Vegas vehicles can now more easily convert them into high-performance vehicles in their garages thanks to these kits. You might give your Vega a significant power boost without being a skilled technician. Chevy also got in on the fun after realizing its potential. They developed a tiny block V8 prototype engined Vega. They used components from their inventory, including a tiny block engine made entirely of aluminum, to create this unique Vega. The V8 engine was supposed to make cars lighter and handle better. Usually a V8 engine has an iron block, which is very heavy. This extra weight can make the car tough to steer, like trying to drive a brick. But the aluminum V8 was different. It promised to cut down a lot of weight, making the car more agile and fun to drive. This tiny automobile Vega was equipped with a 302 cubic inch V8 engine, and this engine allowed the Vega to run a quarter mile in the upper 13-second range when matched with a stock turbo 350 transmission and the stock rear axle. Motion Performance observed how well received the concept of a V8 Vega was. They began selling their own turnkey Vegas that had the V8 swapped out, capitalizing on the trend. There were several power and insanity levels for these autos. These bespoke cars were just completed and operational, unlike some others. Nothing needed to be assembled, just turn the key and get going. The starting price of the Motion V8 swapped Vega was $4,000, even for the most basic model. In comparison, a brand new Z28 Camaro at the time was approximately $3,500. Therefore, the Motion V8 Vega was more expensive, but offered a lot of power and thrill. Motion Performance has endless options for improving and customizing these vehicles. Everyone could find anything they liked, be it a beast on wheels or a car with a respectable amount of power. Motion had no limits, which helped establish the V8 Vega as a renowned vehicle. There was a base V8 switch Vega available for $4,000. The 350 engine that came with it was a respectable one, if not the strongest. Even so, it was still quite quick to move. The Motion Phase 3 V8 Vega is a better option if you have an extra $5,000 to spare. With its potent 370 horsepower, LT1 small block Chevy engine, which was one of the most potent engines on the market at the time, this one had a Phase 3 350 engine. These Motion Vegas had a ton of upgrades, including a sturdy 4-speed M22 rock crusher gearbox, a 12-bolt rear axle, and modified suspension for improved handling. Making these cars faster and more thrilling to drive was the main goal. Although the base Vega had 370 horsepower back in the day, Phase 3 provided even more powerful choices. Imagine taking home a few grand and upgrading your vehicle with the powerful 427 or 454 cubic inch Chevy engine. The value for the money was amazing. It wasn't easy to squeeze these large engines into a Vega, though. It needed unique modifications, such as the bell housing being shortened and unique exhaust systems that emerged from the sides. These were but a handful of the enhancements required for the potent Motion Vega vehicles. These Vegas had 400 to 450 horsepower engines, which made them extremely quick in a straight line. Naturally, having such big engines added weight to the front end, which affected how they were handled. However, purchasers realized these vehicles were designed for straight line speed, and for those seeking pure acceleration on the open road, the appeal of all that horsepower was enticing despite their handling minor weaknesses. Have you ever considered getting a Vega? Well, I have, several times. With this beauty, you could choose one with a 350 engine that is supercharged or turbocharged, or you could opt for something much wilder, like how about a huge block 427? There are a ton of amazing engine options available. The finest aspect, your Vega can be precisely customized to your specifications. The 350 powered LT1 variant is the one I would choose if I had to. Its power and handling are precisely balanced. Well, everyone has their tastes, right? So what do you suppose your ideal setup would be? The recognizable motion stripes that ran down the sides of the Motion Vegas were among the most awesome features. They began adding them to all their other cars since they were such a distinctive feature. Additionally, the Motion Vegas had a ton of aesthetic changes, including larger curved wheels, aggressive appearing side pipes, a rear deck lid spoiler for a sporty appearance, and an L88 style hood that begged for performance. Due to their design for intense racing, many of these cars, many of which were sold abroad, likely sustained damage or were totaled. Therefore, there may be some undiscovered, rusty old Vegas out there. In any case, vehicles such as the AMC Gremlin 401XR and Motion Vegas are extremely uncommon and unique.